Well, I am Randy Suarez, aka Silva Crow, today back here with another amazing reaction. This time we're actually some more nostalgia critic. Was I wrong about Treasure Planet? And I think he sometimes crapped on this movie so much. I personally enjoyed the movie, and especially when it comes to the visuals and hell, the soundtrack is pretty good. Now about the story, I'm a little bit always on the fence about it. Sometimes it's good in my mind, sometimes it's bad. So I don't know, but I'm curious on his, I guess, retake on this. So, well, all I can say is, if you like any other content, please like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. Like, comment, and subscribe to channel. Awesome. I will leave the original link to this video down below so you can watch it uninterrupted. Also link to my Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. And follow me on those social platforms. I'll link to my Cashapp. Feel gracious enough to donate whatever you want to donate. That's fine. If you don't, that's fine as well. But by donating, liking, commenting, and subscribing, and sharing, it lets me know y'all rock with the reaction content. Rock with the channel, and rock with your boy. But further ado, buckle up and let's get started. Alright, we here with some more Nostalgia Critic. Was he wrong about Treasure Planet? Let's see. Let's go.
This episode brought to you by Chime, the award-winning app and debit card that can save you money today. Leaving my room, closing the door, walking down the hallway, exiting the hallway, walking in the living room. Treasure Planet, what are you doing here?
I heard you were going to do a review of me again?
Well, yeah, I reviewed you once for Disney-cember, and people want me to give you another shot.
Because you thought I could take more of your hurtful words?
No, Treasure Planet, it's nothing like that.
I still remember what you said to me.
I said you were beautiful, and I still mean it.
And that's it?
Of course, it's not a Treasure Planet. You're just not for me.
Well, the box office agrees with you.
Don't be like that, Treasure Planet.
You just want to reopen old wounds.
You have a fan base now. People who love you.
Tell me if I'm crazy, but that wasn't just another night for either of us, was it? I mean, we really got to each other, didn't we? Why won't you let me in? Why?
You got it.
I know you've loved me since you first reviewed me, but I don't know what to make of all of this. I really don't.
Look, sometimes I don't know what to make of all this. It's just something I gotta do.
Why?
Because it'll get a lot of views.
Yeah.
Look, I try to avoid this, but I can't. This is just how it is. You're not a perfect movie.
I don't have to be a perfect movie. I just gotta know. You gonna try to love me?
I'd like to. I got all the camera equipment set up, and I gotta go to work.
Oh, dog.
So I'm watching this again.
Yeah.
In 2002, while Disney was thriving in computer animation with Pixar producing hit after hit, their hand-drawn films were not pulling in the same numbers. Not to say they all bombed or many of them wouldn't get a following later, but 3D was clearly the popular new kid with all the hot toys, and 2D was a kid who drew cool comics in class, but when he started to explain what they were about, you were like, I'm gonna go play the PS24 that Pixar's parents just got him. Lots of artistry, but not a lot of interest. Well, Disney put a ton of money and effort into a passion project originally called Treasure Island in Space. Clearly, that title would have made it a hit. But the film ended up bombing big time at the box office, being one of Disney's last big-budget hand-drawn films. The movie did get a following over time, and while I can't say it was a bad film, it's hard for me to say it worked as a whole.
Yeah.
The ambition is clearly there, as well as some good characters and ideas, but for an idea as crazy as Treasure Island in Space, I felt like it either needed to go crazier or more restrained. Star Trek is an amazing world, but it thrives on limitations and strict rules to make the world feel livable. Fifth Element is an amazing world too, but it thrives on bombastic visuals and looser rules to make the world feel surreal. Treasure Planet tries to be something in between and at times succeeds, but other times doesn't know how to combine the contrasting styles, so it can end up taking you out of the world rather than sucking you into it. But I've been wrong in the past. There's been times when I didn't like a film and then revisiting it years later, I actually enjoyed it quite a bit.
Oh.
So maybe something similar will happen here. Because a lot of people have asked for it, I'm gonna give this flick another shot. So let's not waste any time.
Lord knows you've wasted enough time with me.
Oh,
This is Treasure Planet. that was Treasure Planet. I don't know how this works. We open with a backstory about a ship getting its treasure stolen in space.
The notorious Captain Nathaniel Flint.
This is actually a literal audiobook viewed by a young Jim Hawkins.
Flint and his band of renegades swooped in out of nowhere.
Like fire! Space fire!
So I knew he was gonna go for that. That's funny.
This is actually a literal audiobook viewed by a young Jim Hawkins.
Flint and his band of renegades swooped in out of nowhere.
Like fire! Space fire!
Vanished without a trace.
But Jim's mother, voiced by Laurie Metcalf, says he shouldn't get excited because the lost stolen treasure is really more of a legend.
I know it's real.
You win. It's real.
Is it wrong to say I'm kind of crushing hard on Mrs. Hawkins? Is this what?
Nah. Just like what's the dude from Iron Giant's mom? Yeah, her. Yeah, I was crushing on her too, man.
What he does to you? I don't think I had a thing for animated mothers, but if you put Mrs. Hawkins, Mrs. Hughes, and that Big Hero 6 meme in a room, I don't think I'd miss the real world.
Love you.
Love you too.
Don't let the cameos bite. Cut to years later as young Jim, played out by Joseph Gordon-Levitt, has grown up into the most 2002 teen to ever do 2002 activities. Okay, so while Hawkins is handled pretty well, this does point out one of the problems of the flick. It's not that it's Treasure Island meeting a timeless take on the future, it's that it's Treasure Island meeting 2002's take on the future.
See, that makes sense. Yeah, that does make sense. Huh. Never thought of it that way.
Don't get me wrong, sometimes there's a charm when Disney tries too hard to be cool, resulting in something that's adorably of its time. But when your lead has this haircut, these clothes, is doing more X Games than one of your most 2000 straight-to-DVD movies, and then goes home to a mother who's dressed like this, do I really have to explain how hilariously these two styles don't go?
You would think that. Hating steampunk.
Oh, we're doing this?
Yeah, we're doing this.
You want to go here?
Yeah, I want to go there.
Yeah.
You want to keep going with this? Because I'm going with it. I'll totally go all the way with it, man. If you want to keep pushing, if you totally want to keep pushing, I can. Alright, you're not good steampunk! At least in my opinion. Yeah, I'm sick of people saying if you don't like this style, you don't like steampunk. Steampunk is awesome. In fact, I'm a big fan of animes that engulf themselves in them. Last Exile, Steam Boy, even some of Miyazaki's films work in a fair amount of it.
Yeah.
But I just don't think this gels as well as other steampunk properties. Steampunk?
You have to, like I said, dealing with steampunk, it's not on a tightrope. How can I put this? It's how you use it, the best way I can put it. And the movies that he gave out is good examples of how people are using steampunk. Even with Assassin's Creed Syndicate, which I enjoy. I enjoy how they basically, did it was during the whole Industrial Revolution, how they basically somewhat modernized steampunk.
There's a very heavy lean on mixing 19th century fashion and steam-powered machinery with futuristic technology. There's variations on this, but you get the idea. It's half Victorian era, half future sci-fi. The two opposites are so different they equally balance each other out. But the creators themselves said they had a 70-30 rule, meaning they worked in 70% 18th century rules and 30% science fiction rules. Mixing that with the clear 2002 rebel teen tropes to me makes something that doesn't balance out as well. Saying this is steampunk is like when AFI said E.T. and Wizard of Oz were thrillers. I guess it's technically true, but I don't think it's the purest representation of the genre. But just because it doesn't always balance out doesn't mean it's not amazing to look at.
Yeah.
While sometimes some of these creatures and mechanics can look a little generic, a lot of the times it looks pretty cool.
Yeah.
I remember looking at this moon thinking, oh, they're doing that thing where the stars are in the shadow of it. Classic animation mistake. But then later they show
That's no moon.
it was a spaceport. I was just in the background the whole time fooling you. See, little touches like that where I think this film is spectacular.
Yeah.
Just because there's some things that don't always go together doesn't mean there's not a ton of things that do. Speaking of things not going together, the man catches rebellious 2002 teen caught breaking the rules because, nobody gets me.
We apprehended your son operating a solar vehicle in a restricted area. Violation 904.
And also selling cocaine to 6-year-olds. What? Thankfully, the
Oh, Critic.
child was already made of cocaine because, that's just the kind of weird world we live in. His mother runs an inn where a doctor named Delbert, played by David Hyde Pierce, and much more laid back than his brother Dilbert,
The best advice I would give to white people is to get the hell away from black people.
Go away.
tries to show support.
Are you the boy's father?
Oh,
What? No.
Good heavens, no.
Not you. He's just an old friend of the family.
I do kind of like that look there. Despite the character's lines not usually being that funny, they do sneak in a lot of humorous reactions. Like, what kind of dog's bitch am I dealing with? And am I a dog's if I use the word bitch? The ship crashes outside and a dying alien exits.
He's a common. He's after me chest.
I told Kevin Spacey I don't like being touched there.
Okay. That's so random.
Beware the cyborg.
He hands Jim a metal sphere and says, "Beware the cyborg," just as more unpleasant visitors break in. Take that, you stupid chairs! We've detained the furniture, sir. The inn burns down and they make their way to Delbert's, discovering the sphere is a map to Treasure Planet.
All my life I've been waiting for an opportunity like this, and here it is, screaming! Go, Delbert! Go, Delbert! You have to get out more.
That wasn't even a thing people in '02 did. That was the thing people in '92 did. Or 91, 90. I never knew anyone who did this. They make their way to the spaceport where Delbert finances an expedition to find the planet. And yes, shenanigans will be aplenty.
Allow me to handle this.
Stewardess, I speak fart. No, really, they make that joke.
I'm fluent in flatula, Jim.
You see, kids, butt sounds are funny. We didn't know if you, children, understood that, so we wanted to make it very clear. Perhaps you would join us after the film for another important lesson. We're introduced to the captain.
I am Catwoman. Hear me roar.
Well, let's just say I had a crush on her too.
Who's named Amelia, played by Emma Thompson.
Mr. Arrow, sterling, tough, dependable, honest, brave and true.
Please, Captain.
Oh, shut up, Arrow. You know I don't mean a word of it.
I went to my fur affinity page and it is haunting. Jim is also introduced to the cook, played by Brian Murray.
Bringing such fine-looking distinguished gents to grace my humble galley. Had I known, I'd have tucked in my shirt.
Excuse me, I was just adjusting me long John Silva there. It's also made of metal. Cyborg. I was supposed to beware those.
These gears have been tough getting used to, but they do come in mighty handy from time to time.
Holy smokes, the animation on that guy.
Oh, my head.
Wow.
What is it?
Oh, nothing. No, it's just the way the light's hitting your movie. I just forgot how truly beautiful your animation can be.
Oh, you mean this whole thing?
No, really. Sometimes your
You got Marco doing this?
animation can be mind-blowing. I am mesmerized by the movement on this guy. It isn't just the mix of 2D and 3D, though it does combine extraordinarily well. But every muscle, every wrinkle, every part of this dude's body moves like it has a life of its own. Yet it's still part of one character. You know how it took like 6 puppeteers to make Jabba the Hutt feel alive? This feels like it took 20 animators per scene to make him feel alive. Whenever he's on screen, I can't stop marveling at him. Like every waving of an arm, blinking of an eye, or stepping of a leg took months of planning and development. I don't know, maybe it's because hand-drawn animation isn't as prevalent as it used to be, but I am legit blown away by the artistry put into this character.
Aw, do you really mean it?
Oh, look, the flying whales from Fantasia 2000. I guess they wanted to be in another bomb, huh?
Oh, you really know how to ruin a moment.
But Jim doesn't seem to get along with a crew member named Scroop, played by Michael Wincott.
You ever see what happens to a fresh pup when you squeeze real hard?
It squawks, Fagin. It squawks. Silver says he's gonna keep a close eye on Jim as we listen to
question to the world.
That classic 18th century in space 2002 music. Okay, so like I said, while the 1700 stuff mixed with sci-fi sometimes works, sometimes doesn't, the 2002 stuff really doesn't work, and it's crazy distracting.
Here's the thing. Even though I do like the soundtrack, I do have to agree it does not really work for this movie. Now, maybe ones up like this one, if they be subtle with the instrumental, then yeah, it would have worked. But it's not like with Tarzan we have now. If this movie got the Phil Collins treatment, it probably would work.
However, given Disney's desperation to sell out a lot to get what they saw as a hipper audience on board, I'll give this movie credit, it sells out only a little. As unfitting as this song is in this world, the visual storytelling is well done, showing Jim's father abandoning him as a child. Hell, even that's kind of refreshing. There's always a dead parent in Disney movies, and it's usually the mother, but not only is it the father this time, but he's just an asshole who leaves. Sometimes that's an even harder thing to deal with, and while that trope is certainly more common now, back in 2002, especially with Disney, it wasn't really. So, even in some of their own cliches, they find a new spin that would end up being more common later. And you gotta give credit for that. One of the writers also took issue with the fact that Jim is not a little boy in this one, but rather a teen, saying all the emotions would be heightened much more if Jim was younger and more vulnerable. I respectfully disagree.
Yeah.
That works fine in the original book, but
who said teenagers cannot get emotional? They can.
Here, despite me making fun of the 2002 rebel teen trope, it does show it's hard for him to be more open around people, so when he does let his guard down and become more vulnerable, it means more. It makes the relationship between him and Silver stronger. See, I harp on this film because the potential is so strong, and when things are done right, they're done really right. And I want to see them continue to be done right.
So, you do care.
We don't need him.
Oh, God. Oh, Critic.
Summer.
Alright.
Hey,
It's May apply. Terms and conditions.
Check out and see if you want to become a member. After being introduced to a little pet named Morph, a clear comic relief, but not an intrusive one. That comes later. An exploding star threatens their journey.
The star pollution. It's gone. Supernova!
I've heard that expression so many times, I forget it's something that can literally happen. They take evasive action. I have to say, compared to other hand-drawn movies that use CG backgrounds, this one really blends them well. Like, you can still tell they're CG, but the way they move throughout the shots, especially when doing a shaky cam effect, is impressively immersive. Even Prince of Egypt, which I thought melded the two beautifully, had a little bit of a disconnect at times. But I think here the lighting and shadows helps hide the differences between the two styles. It's very cleverly done.
It's devolving into a black hole!
Again, Disney, I would be pulling references to other bombs in this bomb. When the second in command is literally hanging on by a thread, Scrooge puts an end to that problem. They looked like big, strong hands, didn't they? Hawkins is framed for his death, instantly turning the crew, which was already against him anyway, against him even more.
Mr. Arrow was a fine spacer. Finer than most of us could ever hope to be.
He was a great rock thing. I don't know what any of...
Yeah, she didn't really care about him as much. You know, I still smashed that cat woman. Yeah.
Saw. Silver tries to make Jim feel better about his supposed mistake.
When the time comes, you get the chance to really test the cut of your sails. I hope I'm there, catching some of the light coming off you that day.
At the heart of the movie is Hawkins and Silver's friendship, which is what the heart of the story should be. For all the moments that feel like they're trying to cash in on what's cool at the time, the center of the story is timeless and what ultimately makes the tale a classic. That and the fart jokes, of course. Will you let us have nice things, Disney?
For real.
Morph also once in a while overstays his welcome. I don't know why that always happens with characters named that.
Morph, knock it off. It's too early for this. Ow! Hey, Morph!
No, I'm not. not saying I want this scene to happen, but you're pushing it, you little snot bubble. Hawkins finds out this is mutiny, Mr. Every Odd Dog's character in one. Silver takes over the ship while Hawkins takes Delbert and the captain the rest of the way to the planet. Amelia gets her arm PG'd, so Delbert stays with her while Jim scouts ahead to find there's no sign of intelligent life anywhere.
Oh, God!
Oh, this is fantastic! A carbon-based life form come to rescue me at last!
Yeah, so, with 30 minutes left, they introduce their genie of the film, Ben, played by Martin Short Circuit.
Solitude's fun. Don't get me wrong, for heaven's sakes, after 100 years, you go a little nuts!
I mentioned before in my Aladdin review how delightfully risky it was to save Robin Williams for the middle of the film and not earlier. But the last third of a movie is really a weird choice.
Yeah.
I hate to say it, but with his humor, you could have waited even later.
Pirates! Don't get me started on pirates! I don't like them!
I feel bad saying that because I really like Martin Short. He's got crazy talent. But like a lot of comedians who go big most of the time, you have to know when to utilize them or they get on your nerves really quickly.
I think he suffered from mood swings. Personally, I'm not a therapist in any way. But you let me know when I'm rambling.
He's like Roboloff from Robos in 2. I can see how he's supposed to work, but they're trying way too hard with him.
You have to stop talking.
Huzzah! Oh, this is fantastic!
Some things are good, like, again, mixing the 2D and 3D animation surprisingly works really well with him, I think because he's a machine. And every once in a while there is a decent laugh.
And you are?
But I've watched this movie a few times to review, and every single time, I forget he's even in the film. To be fair, I guess it's better than wanting to forget your comic relief is in your movie.
Okay, yeah, he has a point. Yeah.
I don't think that qualifies one being good either.
Stop giving orders for a few milliseconds and lie still.
Speaking of forgetting, and a very strange problem with the film, its focus on Hawkins and Silver is so good, I actually forget many of the side characters are even in it. Delbert and Amelia have a very sudden romance that, for me, feels rushed and sloppy. Again, 2002 romances were all about hating each other, but then one person gives a compliment, and suddenly, they're in love.
Then again, I will still try to smash, so.
It's for the happy couple.
We're not a couple.
I feel like half of Delbert's character is being confused for being attached to someone else. Silver meets up with Hawkins thinking he has the map, unaware that Morph actually left it back on the ship.
Oh, this poor old leg's downright snarky since that game attack we had in the galley.
Didn't catch any of that.
Silver gives Hawkins a day to give the map back, so Hawkins returns to the ship to get the map back. When he returns, though, he sees Silver has taken his friends hostage.
Of course he did.
How does it work?
He threatens the captain and Delbert if Jim doesn't show how it works. And I love Delbert nodding yes until he sees Amelia shaking no and he changes his mind. So Hawkins shows him the way.
The loot of 1,000 worlds.
We made it to Planet McDuck! And okay, I'm sorry to keep beating up on this flick, but the last third is really weak. First off, I don't want to treasure metal meatball or whatever this is. I want to treasure planet. Have there be trees, mountains, rivers, all made of gold and rubies. We got ships and whales floating in space. Don't tell me you can't do this. Go all out. If it seems too crazy, just use the thank you for smoking solution.
One line of dialogue. Thank God we invented the, whatever device.
Second, the lore behind the treasure isn't that strong. I think of something like One Piece or Goonies or, hell, even Disney's other pirate movies where the story of the treasure is just as interesting as the treasure itself. Because third, this is not an exciting place for a climax. Again, the technology around the animation is cool, but compared to what we've seen before, this place is very boring to look at. Even the planet on its own is very colorless and bland. This is supposed to be literally the big payoff, and for a film that seems to just make up its own rules, this is the moment where I really wanted that loose reality to go as crazy as possible. But again, to its credit, it keeps the heart of the movie on track. As the planet is set to explode after being discovered, and Silver and Hawkins' friendship is still the main focus.
Blast me for a phone!
So much better than the edit where he shouts, "No!" The treasure is destroyed as the crew tries to escape the exploding planet.
What do you need, Jim? Just some way to detach this.
Time to pretend my opening scene was about more than just being cool. No, they make it just as Silver tries to sneak away without facing trial.
We just as soon avoid prison little Morphy here. He's being in a cage. It'll break his heart.
Okay, I'll hold on to him, and you'll be hanged. Also, if you're jailed in America for some reason, it might make you more popular. You let Silver go, and Hawkins returns home with the little bit of treasure Silver had left. How is it even when I'm watching the movie, I keep forgetting the robot is in it? Amelia and Delbert, I guess, had this happen.
Dogs and cats living together, mass hysteria.
Hawkins finally looks like a character who would exist in this world. His mother's hands look really weird for some reason, and we end on this horrifying image.
Duh!
Remember to see Shrek, or we'll kill you. And that was Treasure Planet. Yes, there's a lot of flaws, but can I really tell someone not to see this?
Not really, because actually...
I think it took hand-drawn animation for granted back then, but seeing it cleaned up with its amazing colors, imaginative visuals, and strong friendship between the hero and villain, it's hard to tell someone this isn't worth checking out. Yes, the world building is wonky and there's moments that don't balance out, but you can see and feel the love and dedication put into it. The money truly is on the screen, and I think the problems it has can be overlooked when you realize how well done the main friendship in the movie is. It's the heart that keeps it afloat, and if you're like me and didn't get into it the first time, give it another watch. You might find something you may have missed before on the horizon. And quite frankly, I have an apology to make. I'm sorry. I had no idea how special and unique you were until you were gone.
Really?
Well, no, technically you had to come back and I had to see you again, but I had no idea how special and unique you were until you were gone.
Really?
Well, no, technically you had to come back and I had to see you again, but
It sounded really douchey.
Really douchey. Oh, Treasure Planet. Will you give this fool just one more chance?
Critic,
Oh, I see. You're giving him a second chance, but not me.
What's she doing here?
Tune in next time for All My Lovers Are Disney Movies That Are Humans or Something, and It's Crazy.
Oh, Critic.
Go, Delbert! Go, Delbert!
Oh, yep. Oh, Critic. Yeah, I still enjoy the movie Treasure Planet. I'm surprised they never had the idea to make it a live action. But at the same time, maybe it is a good idea for never making Treasure Planet or any type of Disney movie live action. So, yeah. But that's the end of the video. So, if you like any other content, please like, comment, subscribe to my channel. Like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Also, I will leave the original link to this video down below. So go watch it uninterrupted. And, what is your thoughts about Treasure Planet in general? Let me know in the comments down below. And until next time, please take care of yourself. Stay hydrated, stay safe, stay warm. Peace out.
Little questions is everything they know about you.